Yo, what's going on, people? It's Guns Blazing once again, and this is my deck that I use to farm level 40 Paradox Bros. Use Unhappy Girl to stall with Holy Guard, Gravekeeper's Vassal and Union Attack for the finishing move with Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. And you also want to get a Tribute summon off so that you get that full 8,000. But yeah, this deck actually gets 8,000 points even without any Glossy or Prismatic. And it's pretty consistent because you got Crystal Seer and Rai-Mei in case you don't pull an Unhappy Girl in the starting hand. You can also roll it with Piranha Army instead and use Master of Oz Fusion. That works too, but I don't think it'll get you 8,000 unless you have enough Prismatic or Glossy. So with the extra slots, you could probably fill it up with, you know, your Glossy cards or your Prismatic cards. And this is the one that I use for level 50. Instead of fusing, we use Mystical Beast Circuit with Temple of the Kings. Make sure you play Temple of the Kings first. And you also have to summon either Vassal or Circuit on the second last turn. It's fine because they won't attack into it anyway, because the AI does not attack on the second last turn, your second last turn. And we got Trap Jammer because level 50 runs Widespread Ruin, so you need to negate that, and you need at least 2 copies or else you might bottom deck a Trap Jammer. Besides that, we got Sphere Ebola, Windstorm, and Nutrient Z, as well Enchanted Javelins for safety options, just in case he tries to go for lethal with his Gate Guardian. And that's pretty much all there is to it. I'll also give you my thoughts on their card drops as well as their skills after the level 40 farming demonstration. I haven't seen a level 51 yet, so I won't have a demonstration for that one in this video. Anyways, take care and have yourselves a good one. So yeah, I didn't start off with an Unhappy Girl, but at least I got a Rai-Mei, so as soon as he kills this one, I got my Unhappy Girl. And I had Sphere Ebola and Windstorm just in case he wall shadowed this Labyrinth wall and then, you know, tried to go in on me. My life point's nice and high. Get my Unhappy Grill out and start locking his field down. And pretty much at this point, it's over. Like, the farm is successful as long as you don't mess up. I go ahead and summon the second Unhappy Girl so that I could have something to tribute for my Blue Eyes White. In a couple of turns. At this point, he's just not going to attack you. I ram my Rai-Mei into him just so I get the extra drops. I mean the extra draws. And you kind of want that because he has Monster Gate, and if you don't draw extra cards, you could possibly end up not getting 0 cards bonus. Because he's going to deck out before you do. So there's his Monster Gate. That's what I'm talking about. So as you can see, he has 10 cards. I have 10 cards as well. He only has 1 Monster Gate though, so it's not too much of a problem. As long as you have the same amount of cards as him like this, it's fine. At this point I summon my blue, because I already have an Unhappy Grill out on the field. So I can continue locking him down. I just go ahead and wand off my girl. Speed up the farm a bit. You want to save 1 Wonder Wand if you don't have an Unhappy Girl though, so that you can equip it to your Gravekeeper's Vassal. And it could go over 10,000 attack points at the end. But you'll see that soon enough. Go ahead and set Crystal Seer to speed up the farm once more. See, it doesn't matter which one I pull out, because I'll have them both in the end anyways. Go ahead and set some cards, just so that I don't have to discard. Then I just discard whatever I don't need. Once I got my third Blue Eyes that just fuse, he can't do anything to deal with it anyways. Can't deal with the Blue Eyes ult. Last turn is coming up, so all you gotta do, summon your Vassal, Secret Pass, double Union attack, and Wonder Waja. Then, yeah, that's enough attack points. If you have an unhappy girl on the field, you actually don't need to Wonder Waja your boy. Wait, do you? I think you still do. It's only 10,200. Anyways, yeah, that's it. So 8,000 points, even without Glossier Prismatic. Okay, so these are their drops. Immediately, you can tell Gigatech Wolf, Dungeon Worm, Monster Tamer, and Labyrinth Tank are the garbage of this set. Beast King of the Swamps is a fusion substitute, so he's not that useless. But we already got other fusion substitutes that have higher attack than it. Anyways, Labyrinth Wall. People will be interested in this card because of its 3,000 defense, but I don't think it's worth it because 1 tribute, it's 5 stars, and there's many ways to deal with it. 3,000 defense, yeah, it's a big wall, but you know, people can econ it into attack mode, and they also have other ways of dealing with it, such as Soul Exchange, Order to Charge, Relinquish Suck, what's his face, Gravekeepers, or Rockley, just destroying the set monsters, you know? And Extra Gate is probably going to be useless because it's a counter to a deck that's not even commonly played, the Fusion deck. DNA Checkup is interesting. You know how Cup of Ace in mill decks is good either way, because if you draw cards, drawing cards is always good. And if your opponent draws cards, then you accomplish your goal of milling out the opponent. And this is kind of similar to it, because either you draw 2 or your opponent draws 2, depending if they get it correct. Might also be used in burn decks, but I see it having potential in mill decks the most. You got your Damage Gate. Some people are already hyping this up to, you know, special summon Relinquished. I don't think that's the best use of this card because even if you do special summon Relinquished, it's in your opponent's battle phase. So if they have another monster, they can simply just attack into that Relink. I see its potential again in mill or stall decks because you can easily revive one of your Warm Worms and get it to drop another 3 cards from the deck. And Dimension Gate is probably the one that interests me the most. It's kind of like an interdimensional matter transporter because you can dip your monster out of bad situations such as getting sucked by Relinquished, Order to Charge, Soul Exchange, Econ Take, things like that. And then when your opponent's monster declares a direct attack, you can sub the boy back in by sending this face-up card to the graveyard. And also, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon, so you don't have to worry about your opponent destroying it with like Twister or Harpy Lady. The only problem with this card is that your opponent's monster has to declare a direct attack. So if you have other monsters on the field, you don't get to choose when to bring your boy back, unless you happen to have a Storm to destroy yourself. So I think that's the biggest weakness of this card right here. Apart from that, Monster Gate also has potential. It's their level 35 level up reward, and you can use this to summon the big monsters from your deck just by tributing 1 monster on the field. Honestly, I don't think it's going to be that great because in a deck like this, you're obviously going to run monsters that you can tribute as well as high-level monsters that you want to get out. But that means it could potentially be useless because you can just tribute a monster and get another low-level monster from it. But as always, we'll see. Let's move on to their skills. Alright, so I'm on duellinks.gamemade.co just checking out the skills. Elements Unite is their first one. It's probably the most interesting one, but also not very competitive at the same time. You start off with 500 life points, only 1 card in your starting hand, Gate Guardian, as well as the trio Suijin, Kazujin, and Sanga on your side of the field. Effects negated, they cannot attack. If your opponent is dual standby Teoburn, they're going to have even more of a brainless time than they usually do, and finish you off with 1 card. But the most viable playstyle I see with this kind of deck is that you just keep the trio on the field, don't summon Gate Guardian just yet, or you'll be vulnerable to Econ Take or Order to Charge, things like that. And then you just stall it out until you draw some cards. And then who knows what your cards are going to be. Maybe Supremacy Barrier to heal yourself back up, some draw options, or maybe Interdimensional Matter Transporter. And possibly when they come back from being transported, they can actually attack and use their effects. Who knows? All in all, I don't think it will ever be a great skill. The one that I'm interested in the most is this 3-star Demotion. Can be used by paying 2,000 life points until the end phase, reduce the level of all monsters in your hand by 3. So you'll probably see this in a deck with Supremacy Berries as well as The best level 7 monster would probably be Dark Magician because of his support cards, and Burrell Dragon, which is probably one of the best effects in the game, with the coin flip to destroy monsters. Anyways, this is all just theory crafting for now. I don't think the other skills are that strong. Guardian Call is like a draw sense except for Guardians, and then Labyrinth Builder, you have to shuffle 2 cards from your hand into your deck to create a Labyrinth Wall on your side of the field. You already know what I think about Labyrinth Wall. It's not that great, especially if you have to shuffle 2 cards from your hand into the deck. And Thunder, Water, and Wind, it doesn't say it on this entry. I think what it does is it's kind of like Creator from Pegasus, where if you take a certain amount of life point damage, Suijin, Kazujin, or Sanga gets added to your hand, not from your deck. Anyways, that's it from me. Hopefully I'll get a 3-star demotion soon, because that's the skill I'm eyeing. And I think some competitive decks can actually be built with this skill. Anyways, this is Gunsblade and signing off. Have a good day.